Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day. Today is March 20th, Monday. So we'll start off with going over today what is any news we have and what to prepare for this week. Um, so we have our first off, let's go over and start off with this earnings. Today we have post hours, a few stocks, none of which catch my attention, but for the week we have Chewy to watch out for, which can be a great stock to watch. We also have Nike and GameStop, so GME will have attention today. That could be expected. And of course, Express being another big name to watch out for. Other than that, there's really nothing else I see there specifically. As far as news for today goes, March 20th, we have at 7:30 p.m. Reserve balances with Federal Reserve banks. And other than that, there's really not much else. So we won't be watching anything related to news today, but do keep in mind that we do have FOMC on Wednesday. Therefore, the IV on contracts may be a little bit high. So we'll keep that on watch. As far as setups go for our newsletters, for those of you guys who um, signed up, it's free. Link is in the description. We have our Disney setup to watch out for today. We have our Apple setup to watch out for today. We have our analysis on what is going on, our risk to reward, our game plan, and our levels to watch out for. Same thing goes for each one. We also have AMAT and Tesla, and then we ended off with AMD as an extra, which we're looking for it to achieve supply today, or at least this week, and for us to reject. Other than that, we also have my personal plans for if you guys want to check that out. Make sure to uh, click down below. But then we also have our ES levels to watch intra week, as well as SPX levels intra month. Um, and for this, we have a breakdown on what I'm expecting. And here we have some expectations on news based. And overall, you can see our levels. And it may seem a little blurry, but we have our links down here for those of you who are interested in getting those. So let's get started. So today looks like we're pushing up a little bit pre-market, not by much, but we are chopping above this 3939 as well as holding above VWAP. So we can try and post or have a pre-market high level marked. Looks like that 3956 may act as a possible resistance towards today. I believe that what we're gonna see today as far as sellers go, we have key sell spot here from Monday, or from Sunday, including Monday. Uh, this spot we can see as if we do push, we can see that as a reject spot. Looks like pre-market high can also act as a small reject spot open if we open up chopping. If we gain strength, of course, watch this sell spot here, as well as a small buy spot over here, which just means this 3963 to 3959 can be a potential reject spot. So far, this is us focusing on intra week as well as the weekend, and we have a few levels to watch out for there. Now, as far as previous week, we start to look at where is an area where we've rejected multiple times, and that starts to become this box here, where we actually are possibly going to open up at this week. So that's that 3956, 3959, 3963, 3967, and 3975, all being key levels to watch out for rejects and or consolidation. And support being, as we can see down here, we bounced a few times over here. We also saw some bounces right here, and then of course pre-market bouncing and a rejection up here. All these levels are actually levels from previous weeks as well. We can scroll back here and we'll see the same sort of rejections or bounces, stuff like that. And we've used this chart and a lot of these levels for quite some time now. So as you can see, this small demand here, we've actually bounced off of a pre-market I'd like to personally see us hold above it. If not, then that would mean that we have a lower low. So if we break this low, that means we have a lower low from this high and this from this low and this low, which then our next test would of course be this previous low, which is 3873, and then of course another key level from the past, 3859, and then major demand, which was last week's big bounce. So 3839 is what I'll watch for us to hold above this entire week. As far as today goes, I don't believe the ranges are going to be tight enough for us to continue down. I'd say we stick within this range for today. We can hit a higher, we can hit a lower, but this is the range I want to see us stay below. I want to see us stay in. So other than that, that's about it for my analysis. So yeah, I'm gonna watch rejects at 3975 today, potential rejects at 3963 as well. So this spot. If we continue with strength, of course, we can have this 405, 2005 spot for rejects, and then of course, ultimately that supply. But I want to see us stay below this 3975 and above this demand. So of course, buyers down here, sellers down up there, and if we continue with strength, then sellers are also up here and over here. So yeah, now that we got the game plan in mind, if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the chat and I'll get to answering them. All right, so let's get on to SPX. So one thing I like about SPX this week is after bouncing off of this area, we got our strength, massive strength. Then we entered right using that demand as a supply. Managed to break. Now we're sort of starting to see that as a median consolidation spot where we also start to see some buyers pre-mark, or this was Friday. Started seeing some buyers there. What we have here is a low, lower high, lower high. So we know our trend is currently bullish, including us hitting our low here, lower high, or higher high, higher high. So currently our trend is this. We do have our massive sell. So what could this be a result of as a possible long bear flag, although the supports don't really match up perfectly. If we were to start to chart it, the supports aren't perfect. But you have an idea of what the trend is, and that's what really matters. So I'm gonna remove this. Today, as far as what we can watch for SPX specifically, overall, something I really want to see this week, if we are bullish pushing towards Form C, or even after post Form C, this 4017, I really want to see us stay below as well as reject if possible. 417 is a big money spot for those of you guys who are interested. It's where a lot of volume is traded. So here we've seen a lot of volume in sellers. Here we've seen a lot of volume in sellers. Again, this as well. A lot of volume in buyers, pushed up a little higher, stuff like that. And that's where the most money can be made. And so I want to see us hit that spot again. Down here also is an inflection price where I want to see us bounce up to. Lots of volume is traded around this, as well as 4090. So yeah, if we do end up bouncing, I'd like for us to either bounce at 3868 or mainly in this demand spot within these 2 points. Other than that, resistances can go as far as that 3974. We got a reject here, a rebound that can possibly become a reject. We also have a sort of double bottom, both necklines matching up perfectly. So this low can actually be marked as a possible level, which I will mark down here. All right, we got that as a possible level, 3901. This is also actually 3900. Could also be a potential psych level. So we can definitely keep that on watch for today as well. So yeah, VWAP break. We're gonna watch for rejections mainly at 3962. Bounces at around 3906 to 3901, and we'll be trading in between. So yeah, that's about it. Let's move on. So yeah, we got our SPY. Let's go on to individuals. So like we said on our newsletter, we are going to be watching our break mainly above. I want to see call side break first before going to lower. 15744. I want to see us break above that. Try to hit that 158 and 160. As you guys know, this is an ascending triangle pattern, including a strong supply. So if we do get weak, I'd like to see us have signal before, whether it's momentum loss. But as you guys can see, anytime we did touch this level, there was big sellers, right? So if we get up there again, it could either be two things, where we actually gain strong buyers, or we gain sellers, which is this red scenario. So we'll definitely be watching what happens there. Another example could be this spot here: massive sellers continue lower, um, and including lots of chop around the spot, ultimately pushing us lower with each retest. So that's going to be an interesting spot to watch out for. What we could kind of see and look for is sort of this scenario right here. So let me zoom in closely. We tested this key level, we rejected, and then we gained that volume and pushed higher. Notice how that volume was a earnings push. Lots of volume pushed us higher. Kind of want to see that sort of happen again, where we gain a lot of volume and push higher. If we do end up playing the call side, if we see momentum loss, then I will look for either shorting or not even touching it until we start seeing some confirmations on futures and other individual companies. So this is it for our Apple Watch. Costco, I believe Costco has a weekly setup to watch out for. So Costco had a lot of strength last week, or this week, or yeah, last week. Still stayed below previous week and held above. So nothing yet. What I wanted to see is us fall down lower and then touch the support, either bounce or break it, and then ultimately take us down towards that main support down here. So as far as this potentially happening this week, it's unlikely. We still have a lot of time before we squeeze and break out, but we're just going to be patient with this and see how it goes for now. Of course, as you guys know, we can just scout between the retracements, but this is the main setup we're really looking at. So yeah, let's move on. Let's go on to NVIDIA, which I kind of want to see reject. We broke past the falling wedge resistance side of it. We have our, all right, let me fix that. There we go. So yeah, we have our little support there, which we ended up breaking, but ended up retesting as well. And then we had our rising wedge resistance, which we broke out of and actually formed another candle. So now we're sort of looking for where's an area that it can reject, and my initial thoughts were possibly right there. As you guys can see, we did sell off earlier than that. So I want to see us, if AMD, of course, we're going to get to AMD in a second, but if chip sector has strength, then we should also expect NVIDIA, of course, to continue up, which is why I want to see some higher highs, possibly to this 275, which is previous reject, or even that 284, where we've seen a reject twice in the past. And these are big time frames, so they have big influence. So we'll look at it. We'll keep on watch throughout the week. But as far as anything today goes, not something I'll keep in watch. And then of course, if you guys have the newsletter, we're also watching Tesla. Tesla has a bear flag on the hourly, where I want to see us hit a lower low. But first, I want to see us gain that strength to supply if possible. If not, then we'll take the break. But primarily, I want to see us reject that supply, because that supply is pretty strong last week. And so I want to see us do it again. Take that shorts up there, short it down. Our price targets are listed below: 173, 170, 168, and 163. So yeah, this is a nice setup to watch out for. Other than that, if we do end up breaking the bull side of it, we have to keep in mind there's a lot of influence in the resistance side, which is why I'm good on shorts in this specific zone, because we also have retracement. We have the resistance side of it. We also have this 188.60 or 188.05 resistance, right here as well. So there's a lot of resistance, meaning that there's a lot of sellers at that price that I believe it's going to be a little tough for us to break a higher high. Therefore, I'm more bearish on this at the moment. All right, so as far as Microsoft or Meta goes, not really much I see here. I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I don't really trade Meta too much, but we'll move on. We'll look at something else. We also have our Amazon here. Looks like pre-market low lines up to a key level 97.37, which is a past resistance and potential support. Mainly looks like a resistance spot, yeah. Other than that, maybe we can try and orbit down. Amazon isn't a really stock I want to be touching too much. As you guys can see, its volatility. Its price action is a little weird for me. I haven't really been trading it too much lately as I used to, but its price action isn't something I'm familiar with at the current moment. So we got our AMD that we're looking for us to continue higher. I don't plan on taking calls, but I do want to see us reject that spot. That's our main idea. Although we're currently at a key level, I do want to see us go higher. We can try and reject this. I'd only take puts here if I do see momentum loss and massive strength in sellers, but other than that, that's about it. So then we got our Netflix, which I was watching recently. I was thinking of adding it to the list, but it's a little far-fetched. First off, we got our Netflix demand, including our Netflix support wedged. We also have our Netflix supply here. Not really any resistance, but if we actually zoom to the hour frame, this is a potential triple top where we actually moved up and we rejected pretty strongly there, and then we gained our strength there back in buyers. So now what I want to see is if we do end up going back here, will we go lower or will we actually gain strength enough to push us higher, and if so, by what amount? So we have our, of course, retrace there. We also have our retrace level there that we can watch out for, and overall this spot here. And if we do end up gaining strength, what's going to happen? Are we going to reject here? Are we going to reject here? Stuff like that I'm keeping into account to watch out for the future, to see if calls are even worth it, the risk to reward and all that. Alright, so Microsoft, massive strength last week, failed to fill gap, as you guys can see here. Could this be something that we attempt this week? It's possible. If we do gain strength, I want to see us fill this gap and then overall reject this possible supply. Looks like this spot is actually filled with sellers, so we'll mark it down. We'll keep it on watch, and we'll look to see if this is a spot where sellers are active at. There we go. Yeah, so I'll watch that, and of course we have this gap to fill. Looks like we have a lot of gaps there included in there as well. But this gap will be the primary focus for now. And then of course we have our BA setup. BA rejecting this massive supply in the day. So this is something that happened last week and the week before that. And this all happened after this push up and then sell off. So now I want to see us. Looks like we were able to hold above this level, which is a resistance here. What I'd like to see for us to do is either continue back up towards supply or just continue lower. As you guys can see, we have hit a lower low, so the trend is currently bearish. So the likelihood of us going lower is possible. So we'll just keep it on watch for puts possibly and scalp between key levels on the 5-minute or 1-minute chart if shown. Disney, probably my favorite setup of the day. So Disney be my favorite setup of the day. We have this bear flag, of course, clean, nice bear flag. We have a potential break to a lower low, which I'm really looking on the bear side of it. to scalp to 91.36 and 90.59. The risk seems pretty low. I saw the contracts. If you guys check the newsletters, I mentioned the delta on it. The delta is pretty strong for the cost of the contract, so the reward is pretty medium. We'll probably get about a 40 to 50% return on investment if we do take this trade, and it hits our price target. So this is also for the bull side. Also looks good as far as risk to reward and return on investment. So yeah, we'll look for it. We'll see how we do. This is a great setup to definitely watch out for today. And Google, I'll leave it there. Walmart, as you guys can see, we're actually starting to pick up strength, which is good. Consumer sector is something that had struggles last week, so us holding above this price is really good for us. I'd like to see us go higher. Want to mark on one thing. This right here. I want to see if we can get break above that trend. And then go higher. If we can get a higher high above that, then we'll probably end up making our way up back towards this possible supply and or 144 resistance. So yeah, we'll watch that. Keep it on watch, and that's about it. Yeah, I saw this Roku wedge. As far as strength and reliability goes in the support side of it, I don't see it, but on the resistance side of it, we do have a nice resistance we're kind of wedging on. But nothing like I would put my money towards yet. So I'll keep that void. Crowd filled gap again. Now we're seeing a lot of sellers at 136. I want to see us push higher to 141.66 before selling off. Lots of people still have yet to take profit on the push after filling it this time around. Last time we did see that sell off, we actually hit a lower low, and then gained and bounced back up. So we'll see how we react this week. But yeah, AMAT, another big name on this list. We're at supply. We're kind of seeing a lot of consolidation there. And so I want to see that continue throughout this week so that we can grab some short swings and scalp it as we go low, including towards this demand, which we'll be watching. JP Morgan, as you guys know, lots of news related to the bank. Probably won't be touching it. And then SE also having a nice wedge. That support is clean. The resistance could be clean. And we'll just be watching this SE setup to see if it's something that we will squeeze out of. Can it be a big move? There's still a lot of money in SE, so whether sellers are selling it, that'd be nice for us to kind of scalp for puts, or if buyers are buying, we can scalp for some calls. So that's going to be the end for the pre-market prep session. We're looking to be pushing at the moment in pre-market, but as you guys know, 3975 is our main reject spot. Post reject spot after that, it's going to be our 4005 reject, and then after that 4016 reject. But yeah, hope you guys have a great trading day. Trade smart, trade safe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.